It's like Dave and Dave's were saying, when they're like on the weekly conference calls and they'll be going for an hour and nobody will be listening because they hadn't hit the button or something. That's what we've just been doing for the last 15 minutes or something, and realised we're talking to ourselves. So sorry for the inconvenience, but if you're listening to this, you're probably just listening to the replay. It's pretty funny. You don't need to be technically inclined to run these things. We just have a lot of fun doing it.
We just had the best hangout for ourselves in the history of hangouts. that was my fault because of this technical difficulty. I guess I got too pumped up and I clicked the wrong button, so that was all my fault. But again, we're just talking about connecting with the audience as far as going about and having them check out like stuff like, for example, on your Facebook wall, just so something that they can relate to, as far as like to see is just besides the negativity on the news or whatever, just something that okay, this is what he likes to do. Like for example, I love to share a handful of quotes from books I love to read too, and then share it and sharing on Facebook as well. That can hit an audience as far as like for example, it can reach the audience like for those that might be in the home-based business profession, or those that are might be working online or at home or whatever type of business it is. Another thing too, and I just fooled around with this the other day, and or should I say it was last night, was posting videos of what I love to do on pretty much outside of playing semi-pro football, outside of let's see of work, and that's I'm doing Olympic weightlifting. I've been using that as far as helping me on my lifts here for the last, be honest with you, for the last 10.5 years. And again, I'll go back to what I'm talking about as far as just for this little example right here. I was able to post one of the videos of me actually doing performing one of the lifts. I won't go and show it, but look at the views I had. This is something that I literally did 24 hours ago. So I just didn't know so many people would be able to just check out and see what I would like to do. Now, obviously, later today, I was able to go back in this afternoon since my team, my semi-pro team, has another bye week, and I was doing another lift. And here, look at the views as well. This is like, as it shows, just 5 hours ago, 61 views. And then I had this. This is really the second attempt, but this was just pretty funny. And again, if you want to come and connect with me, you have to go to my Facebook. Go to my Facebook profile. Here it is, all right here. You can go right up here, Andre Sanders or Andre.Sanders.98 or whatever, just so you can see the
and the
video.
reason why it works is
but again, this is what I did. I pressed the stop.
and the reason why it
That's
works.
why I didn't press the share. And I caught myself. But anyway, again, what I'm trying to say is that's how people can connect with me. And then again, I want you could share the same thing, because I know when you started doing videos, people were able to connect with you as well, whether it be videos, photos, your blogs, or whatever. Some people are able to relate with you.
And the reason why these videos that you've been sharing on Facebook have worked so well is because it's kind of like a bit of a surprise to people, for people like me. I didn't know this is what you did, and it's kind of like intriguing, and it gets that curiosity going and thinking, wow, I didn't know about this about him, and it's like people kind of knows you like that, if you will, and they want to know more and see something that might be different, and it can be interesting, and people can just relate to you being real about yourself, and it gets that rapport going, and that know, like, and trust value when you have someone who can relate to what you're putting out there as just being yourself, and sharing what you're about, and what you like to do, what you love to do, and sharing your passions. And what we're speaking about before we got cut off about getting that focused on that niche, that niche market of who you can relate to specifically, who can relate to what you're about and what you have to offer, but more so who can relate to you as a person. And obviously Andre can relate to weightlifting people and obviously and people who like quotes, self-help quotes and stuff like that, and obviously getting likes and stuff. So obviously people can relate, and it shows that. And as far as um, I was about to say is the thing with the multiple blogs that we got this last week being released. It enables you to be able to specifically target a niche market, to be able to specifically attract these people through the power of the blog that we got now with Claratu, and that in itself is powerful, because it's kind of like you get people. It's kind of like your funnel. You get people into your specific niche, whether that's example weightlifting, whether that's quotes, whether that's self-help books, personal development, whatever your niche is, and you funnel people, and it's kind of like a filtration system where you get people in the front end into your blog, and you pre-frame them for a bridge marketing through your caption page. You do a bridge video, pre-frame them into your funnel, onto your list, and pre-frame them into your opportunity, which is obviously with us iPass and Empower, and having the ability to run your to be able to have a business and a life at the same time with the tools and the trainings and the things we have to offer here. I know you want to talk about bridge marketing and stuff before we got on. If you have anything to add about that, I mean, basically it's just about building that responsiveness, through telling your stories. I mean, I got started here in like November 2013 and knew none of this stuff. Was like everything was all new to me. So if you're here right now and it's all of this stuff seems like it's like foreign to you kind of thing, don't worry, because I'm sure it was for you as well, Andre, in the beginning. It's a new learning process, and all you have to do is tell your story. So I mean, all I did is got started in November 2013 and applied all the tools and the trainings that was in the products, and learn, do, teach, as they say, and keep feeding that valuable information into your mind, into your subconscious mind, and getting your beliefs aligned. And through doing that, I was able to go and show and tell my family that I didn't want to be working the job on the farm, having been like the only son to the farm, to take it over that was like all it was ever expected of me. And through finding this online business, and through finding these people to connect with online, it's enabled me to go and be able to travel to America for the first time back in October in Orlando, and meet up with these awesome people, and now it's enabled me to be able to work on my own terms, when I want, where I want, and be so much more independent as a person. And that's what it enables you to do. It's the power of the internet, and you don't have to work a job anymore that you don't like, and it's powerful. But as far as we was going talking about before, bridge marketing and stuff, it's about solving people's problems. What are people in this industry, and what are people's problems nowadays? They're working a job that they hate. Yeah, how can we solve these problems? By sharing the tools and the resources that are gonna save you, that are gonna free up your time, by creating these automated systems where all you have to do is plug people in to the front end, and let other people do the hard work. Let people who are better at a skill set do something that's going to help you out, by plugging people into a system. It's the system that we've got here, and I can't say enough good things about it. But obviously, you're here right now and maybe not heard of what we're up to before. There's not really much to say. We're both, Andre can talk more about it as well. But we're both as loyal to this system as anything, and this is going to be what we're going to be able to go and create the income that's going to eventually get to the stage where the income is going to go up, whether we decide to work or not. And that's what it's about. It's about, you know, that vision of being able to eventually get to the stage where your income goes up if you decide to work today or not. And that's what it's all about. And it's the power of the internet, and it's powerful. So if you feel like I've been talking for a long time there, so we want to talk about anything else, as far as like bridge marketing and stuff like that. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, to add on to what you just said, too, Ian. Obviously, too, doing those little things, would it be, you know, posting our blogs too, as you mentioned earlier, we can come up with other things too if we wanted to do, like other niches. But obviously for us, like right now, we kind of like to stay focused on our particular niche, or doing videos, or even posting, you know, something like motivational quotes or whatnot from books that we're reading, or maybe you might see it through a video, you might hear it through audio, or maybe just you know, whatever, see it in social media sites. But this is, again, for people just to relate to what we're doing in our lives too. Obviously, another good thing too is pictures are great. You know, you can name them all as far as Instagram, Pinterest, you know, Twitter. The list can go on and on. For like going back to the video part, for people to relate to me is, for example, and I told you this earlier too, Ian, that my YouTube account is hooked up to my Twitter. So every time I have a video, I make a video and it goes on YouTube, automatically goes to my Twitter account as well. And I have about over 50 followers there. So that's just more eyes to see, oh, okay, this is what he does, other than, you know, likes to share what he's learning, playing semi-pro football as well. And, you know, obviously he's working too. But
that's cool. Can you?
So what
is
again?
that fairly straightforward? Can you hook that up in the YouTube back office where you hook it up to Twitter automatically? I didn't know about that. Is it a fairly straightforward thing to do? Is it in YouTube? I haven't seen that before. I mean, I do the YouTube videos, but I haven't seen that you can hook it up to Twitter automatically.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can hook it up via going to your YouTube account, and then I think it asks if you want to set it up on other sites, like if you want to put it on Facebook, it goes to Facebook automatically, or like for Twitter, maybe a couple other social sites. I'm not too sure, because the main ones I have are just Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, obviously YouTube. Those are the main sites that I use. But again, yeah, go to YouTube. I don't know where exactly. You might have to go to, obviously, settings, accounts, some of that, and then check as far as somewhere in the back, and then I'm pretty sure you'll see a link that will ask as far as, oh, okay, this is what you want to hook it up to, so every time you do video, it goes bam, straight to this. Like it'll go straight to Facebook, or go, again, like straight to Twitter or whatever. So that's what I do. I think you can also hook it up to LinkedIn as well. Something as that. So again, that's
I don't really use.
Go ahead, Ian.
See, I mean, I don't really use Twitter that much, but if you can have something that you know, promotes your videos automatically without even having to do anything, it just gets the more eyeballs on your videos that before you wouldn't have, and if it does it automatically, it's a win-win. And if you can get more eyeballs on your videos, you can get more people who can potentially be interested in who you are and what you do. And as far as you were going, you were saying about people, or I was going to say something about Instagram as well. You know, the thing with is something. I've been getting a few results with Instagram this last few weeks, and the thing with that is it's straightforward. You just use your phone. You don't even need to use your laptop. It's all, you know, Instagram on your app on your phone. You're able to, you know, send it out automatically straight to Facebook, straight to Twitter, straight to, what's the other one? It's the other ones. Tumblr, and there's another one I forgot. I've not used that, but you can send it out to 4 different social sites automatically just by posting pictures. And as far as you were going about pictures, being able to relate to people through pictures, it's like the saying goes, a picture tells 1,000 words, and it's 100% true. And a video can tell. If a picture tells 1,000 words, I think a video can tell a lot more. A video can tell as many words as you want to show in telling a video, and it's like, it goes back to what we're saying last week. If you really want to get these people people who want to be, if you really want to get people interested in what you're about, what you have to offer, video is a way forward. And you say a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells a heck of a lot more, and video is going to do 10 times the impact to get people to respond to you and relate to who you're about and what you have to offer. It's powerful.
Yeah, because think about it too. They get to see your surroundings, where you are, see what you're wearing, how you talk, or whatever, how you look, whatever. But again, that's just still, it's still obviously focusing on you. I know. I heard somebody that was making. I think he was $1 million earner too. Now, obviously, results are not typical. Go see our income disclosure when we're talking about income results. But anyway, I remember hearing that this top earner talk about as far as videos like right now. Like for example, for people that have the Facebook account, notice what people like to do is, especially if you have a lot of friends, like you have over 500 friends, or it doesn't even matter, you probably have 100, whatever, so be it. What are they particularly doing a lot too? They're sharing videos. It could be funny, goofy videos, whatever the case may be. But that's what I'm noticing too. I have like well over 1,200 people on my Facebook profile, but that's what they're sharing now, sharing videos, whatever it is. So that's pretty much
and particularly right videos on Facebook as well.
Exactly.
Particularly videos on Facebook's growing a lot in as far as videos have been.
Yeah. Now obviously too, some of the people like for example, you see my profile. It's stuff about this whatever, because obviously we're in information age, so information is just out there. There's really not like people that like Ian and I not tooting our own horns or whatever, but people in our community, we like to just give out and share our value. You know, for example, like for example, those three videos that I posted too was just again showing people what I like to do as far as the lifting or whatever. Now, if you go to my blog, what's going on, Neil? Or if you go into my blog, you can see I love to talk about as far as personal development. I love finding videos on YouTube with different speakers and whatnot, sharing that, and pretty much giving back my own insight. It's really short and sweet to the point, but again, that's something else that you can relate to me, because that's just what I love to do. So now you see that.
Yeah, and
you see the post on Facebook, and now you see some of the pictures too, and a couple of videos on Facebook. You can see what I like to do. What you about to say, Ian?
Yeah, and I was just listening to this inner circle before we got on the hangout, and it was like saying the only reason if you we're saying how important it is to get people to relate to what you have and what you're sharing, what value you're sharing. I mean, the only reason why people aren't responding to the value that you're giving out is because of some sort of some sort of resistance with who you are. People, not everyone's going to relate to you. It's about getting that niche, like we were saying, and getting it focused, getting specifically targeted on who you want to attract into your life and into your business. And the only reason people aren't a big reason why people aren't going to be responding is because of that resistance that some people might have over the beliefs that we have about ourselves, about other people, that create this sabotage in itself, where people trying to think of an easy way to explain it. It's like not everybody is attracted to, not everyone's going to be attracted to you, and people aren't necessarily, some people might not be attracted to you because they have some sort of resistance about what you're sharing as regards to belief issues, which sabotage the attraction. I'm kind of digging myself a hole here. I've got to really explain in my head, and I've kind of dug myself a hole, but I mean, yeah, go on, Neil.
So the one thing I was actually going to try just add on what you were saying about, the resistance people actually have is because people see you as not a problem solver, but a marketer. Basically, you're a salesman. And that is the one thing that we need to try and get past. If people can see you as someone who's going to help them and solve their problems, They're going to open your emails every single time. They're going to listen to what you've got to say. That's what you need to come across as. Forget, I was listening to a Ray Higdon event, and I've listened to that over the past week, and it's been absolutely amazing. I'm listening to it. There's another training he's got tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be on that. And a whole different concept to attraction marketing is basically forget about offering them advice and this and that, because they're still expecting the sales pitch. Forget that. Just come across as a problem solver instead of a marketer, a salesperson, because I think in their mind they're still expecting that sales pitch, and until you've provided them enough value, they're not going to feel confident in making the transition into buying what it is that you're trying to sell, until you've shown them that it's going to solve the problem that they want.
Shoot, I like that, because that is true, Neil, what you just mentioned as far as doing that with, obviously, with your audience. Now, for obviously Ian and I, that's fine, Ian, but Ian and I were just talking about this as far as like what we love to do as far as having people connect with us. You know, I remember you've been telling us the last couple of weeks as far as having that bridge marketing. I looked through the back office for iPad, and they were just talking about having to I think it was one of the leaders talking about how to connect, how the people can connect with you. So I was just sharing as far as like, you know, like for example, Facebook. I have over 1,200 friends too, and then yesterday was just the first time I actually used my personal profile to post a video. But all I was doing was lifting. That's just what I love to do. That's something else people get to see me do besides posting quotes from books I'm reading, showing pictures of my football team. So and obviously for my blogs too, I don't really put it out there as well, but people will see that little right side too, as far as when I'm sharing it in different groups or whatever. So I guess my main question is like, what do you love to pretty much share just so people can just kind of connect with you? You know what I mean? Like whatever social site it can be. It doesn't have to be Facebook.
But there is an element of connection that needs to be there, of course. But something else as well. I've just been going over the internet traffic formula, and the one thing that I've just completely been sidetracked away from, positive expectancy. If you can get someone and give someone positive expectancy, the belief that they can do this, and it just seems, right, you can do it, I can do it kind of mentality, then you're going to get a lot more of a reaction than if you just basically tell them that, if you just keep feeding them, I'm going to, you know, I can do this, you can do this, then you're just, what's the word? You're just basically, I can't think, and Anthony Robbins actually says it well, but you're just saying it to them. They need to believe what you're saying is true. They need to believe it. So if you can give them something that shares positive expectancy, so much so that they just think, you know what, I can do that, you're going to get a lot more of a reaction, you're going to get better results, because they will just take action naturally.
That's cool. Is that something that you love to share? Maybe like would it be on Facebook or on your blog post? That's something that you like to do as well, as far as sharing with the audience.
I think at the end of the day, there is no, same as what David Wood shares, there is no difference between me and you, and me and Ian, and you and Ian. Basically, we've got different backgrounds and we have different beliefs. But that's not to say that you're a better person than me and I'm a better person than you, or we're a better person than Ian. We're all the same. The only thing that defines us differently is our beliefs, but the results that we get are also based on the action that we take. That's the only thing that separates us. So if you don't believe...
Which in itself is based on the beliefs that we have.
Yes, exactly. So the first thing you need to do is work on your inner self. You need to work on your beliefs. You need to focus on the fact that, forget about the past. The past is irrelevant. The past is in the past. You learn from the past. Don't live in it. Don't think that just because I can't do it then, I can't do it now. You can do it now. The only difference between then and now is you've learned from that experience. You know, so many people think that you need to get off to the perfect start. You need to do this, and if I hit the ground running, it's great. Sometimes you don't always need to hit the ground running, because how are you going to know if you can do it better if you've got the perfect result to start with? you need to sometimes fail going forward in order to get forward, because you can't possibly know you're doing something wrong unless you've done it. So it's just,
it's like,
go on.
We don't start off as our life as being able to go and run a marathon as soon as we're born, do we? We have to learn every single thing. We have to learn how to speak. We have to learn how to walk. It's a constant learning process, and your past doesn't equal your future.
And a perfect metaphor, David Wood actually once said, when we was babies, the first thing we aspire to do is generally you learn to crawl, and maybe not when you crawl, but when you try to walk. When you try to walk, you fall over knowing times. Maybe you don't fall on your face, but you fall down on your arse. Pardon me for saying that word, but you fall on your arse countless amounts of times. Does that stop you? No. All right, it hurts, but a couple of hours down the line, you'll get back up and try again. But the thing is, when we're older, we get so much more aware of the positive, the negative, and the actual aspect of us failing, that you focus on that and think, well, it might happen, and you focus on that so much it stops you from actually taking action in the first place. But you're not going to get anywhere just staying where you are. You need to take action.
It's funny too. Also, when you just said this, since we're in the online world, I gotta share this. I got this from Aaron Raskin yesterday. Look at his Facebook. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen it too. Look for the ones looking out too as well. I love this. I love this post. You know why strangers support you more than people know you? Because people that know you have a tough time accepting you come from the same place, but they are still in the same place. And that's just what happens point blank when you're developing and working on yourself more so. That's just what it is. How many times have we heard David Wood say over and over again, you continue to read books daily and listen to audio daily, I promise you won't be the same person. And I'm noticing that too from the last couple of years too, being our company. I'm like, that gap between, obviously the people that I used to hang with or whatever, it's not that I'm hating our friends or family, but it's just that, in conversation, I couldn't talk about some of the like the income goals or some of the bigger goals I have, and trust me, my goals continue to stretch because of what I'm reading too, because they continue to stay where they are, but it's just fine. But I prefer growing. Go ahead, Ian.
But you're also inspired because you put in that mindset that someone makes you believe that what they're doing you can also do. So you stretch your imagination because at that present moment you're in a better place. If you're in a negative place and you keep thinking, I can't do this, is all right for you, or whatever else, you're never going to stretch your imagination. You're never going to believe that it's possible, and you're just going to stay where you are. So you need to get past that and just think, if you can do it, I can do it. And it's as simple as that. We are all the same person. If you look at David Wood, he is a perfect example. I'll tell you what, Mike Hobbs as well, I was recently reading about his story. He got $80,000. I think it was $80,000 he was in debt. And he actually went to a shop to buy some groceries for his family. And 3 of his credit cards got rejected. That's how bad of a position he was in. So if anybody is not in that position and you're just thinking that I'm in a job, I've got no debts, but I've not really got a great deal of money coming in, you're in a lot better place than David Wood was, who was living out of a caravan. Mike Hobbs, who had a mountain of debt to live in. And somehow these people they focused not on the problems, they focused on what they want to do. And they've just focused on that, took massive action, and not settled for anything less because they knew what they wanted and they were not prepared to accept anything less. And that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. That's how successful people. And I remember I'm still reading through Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book, but he mentioned that too early in the book. As far as let's say for example, you want and obviously this book was written in the 1920s or 1930s, let's say. But you just gave an example as far as you want to climb up the corporate ladder or whatever, and you're at the bottom. He said point blank, and I need to find that exact. I think it was at least 1 or 2 cents. He said point blank, hey, it's tough coming from the bottom because people, all that negativity, and we can give the lobster example, or every 1,000 times, but people are just going to just beat you down as far as negativity. It's like you want to do something, you have that one person that wants to try to do something, and then, you got somebody, somebody right there beside you, you're working with, nah, man, you can't do that, or whatever. You can boil it down with all that really garbage is what it is. But obviously, what we just said, we continue to grow ourselves to reading and listening to audio. Trust me, all that's is going to be like, it's going to be like a little bug bite, just smack and just keep on going, you know what I mean? Just blow it away. That just happens. I remember about a month ago, I was on a conference call. Les Brown, obviously the great motivational speaker on this planet. And here he is. He was talking about getting ready for his 70th birthday because it was the week when he was turning 70. And he even mentioned as far as like, man, all that I've done on this earth, it was like if I were to be taken away right now, he's like, man, I still don't believe that I would have been able to. I was able to finish all that I want to do, because he's still growing. He still wants to do some big things too within his life as well. I remember reading a book of Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. And one thing I learned, too, from Donald Trump, he loves waking up in the morning and reading about a few hours every day. Still learning. This is coming from somebody that's a multi-billionaire. So, that phrase, success leaves clues, there you go.
But I once read, I think it was David Wood, again, who mentioned that he started, and he was a multi-billionaire, but then he also became bankrupt as well. So he's gone from multi-billionaire to bankrupt, back to multi-billionaire again. And it's entirely possible. The future is in your own hands. The fact is, when you're told what you need to do in order to make your business thrive, do you sit there and say, I can't do that, and think, I can't do that, or do you sit there and think, how can I get that done? At the end of the day, if Richard Branson, I think this is what David Wood exactly said, if Richard Branson, who is, I think, is worth an estimated $3 billion, if he was told he needed £4 billion in order to take on the next business venture that he needed to do, which is an extra £1 billion, do you think he would actually say, no, I can't afford that? Or do you think he would actually say, I'm going to do that and just focus on getting it done? Now, £1 billion is a lot. It's a hell of a lot. It's 33% of his entire wealth. But how much can you stretch 33% in order to get where you need to go?
He will find a way to make it happen. I know that much.
That's it. Don't think, I can't do this. It's too much of an ask. And focus on, how much of a task it is. You just sit there and say, it's what I want to do. I need to do this, so I need to get it done, whatever I need to do. And just have that mindset. Don't be focusing on the obstacle. Focus on the task. Get it done.
Another thing, too, Robert Kiyosaki's rich dad, when he was growing up as well, he between Kiyosaki and his friend, who was pretty much the son of the rich dad. But anyway, he told both of them real young. He said, hey, don't ever say those words pretty much, I can't. He said, think about how can I? Because he said himself, the words I can't or I can't do that, that kind of just shuts the brain off. He's like, I think he said, I can't remember the exact word, but I'm pretty sure he used the phrase, it's lazy thinking. You just shut the brain off as far as like, oh, forget it. But obviously if you think about, okay, how can I afford that? Then you can think of different ways, maybe selling something or whatever to make it happen what you're trying to do. Whatever type of venture, type of investment, whatever it is trying to do. I remember, for example, my previous company, before joining our company a few years ago, I remember hearing stories on conference calls so many times, people selling bikes or asking from family and whatnot, for some money to make this happen or whatever. But, that just comes to show you, too. It's like, I always hear some people that say, oh, it takes money to make money. Well, those examples right there just kind of show you, no, it does not. As Robert Kiyosaki also loves to say, OPM, other people's money. Those are just a perfect example of that, what those people did to make it happen. And we hear people in our company too all the time that just find ways to make it happen. Like, for example, we got an event coming up here next month or whatever. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear stories as far as people the last second or whatever, got money from family or sold something to friends or whatever, or Craigslist or whatever, to make it happen to come to this event, because these events are they're life changing. whatever whatever it is that you try to do. So I mean, again, on top of people who love to relate with us too. Obviously that just adds on two more to the, connecting with people, because that means more pictures to take, when you're at the events. So this for people who can relate with you, whatever. So that's
it's like it only needs one. It's like it only needs one person to disprove this limiting belief, and then it opens up the door for everyone to. You get one person to go and do something that before everyone else thought wasn't possible. Like, for example, Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, and for the first time ever in like the 50s or something, or the 50s, I think. And then the next, few months is like, I can't remember how many exactly, but quite a few people, having no one in the entire history of human beings had been able to run a 4-minute mile, and then as soon as Roger Bannister did it the first time, that proved that it's actually possible for you to do this by focusing in that it's actually possible. Disproved that belief, and then it opened the door for others to go and do the same, and it's the same online. You get someone who's gone from absolutely rock bottom nothing, who's gone and been able to make this actual living and this income for themselves and succeed online, succeed in life from having absolutely nothing. It proves the fact that it's possible, and if it's possible for them, it's possible for me, and it's possible for you as well. And it's like you were saying as well, it's you focus on what's going right and ask yourselves questions that are going to ask yourself questions that are useful in what you actually want, instead of things that are excuses. And it's focusing on the positive. Just focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. Focus on what's going right, and you'll get there eventually. You keep taking the action, and keep proving the positive belief that you've now got inside of yourself.
That's it. And I was watching. There was a video that Anthony Robbins. Frank Kern and John Reese did. This is weird. Those two.
Yeah.
That's the video, isn't it?
It's a score for success.
Yes. So what it is, they actually asked Roger Bannister, how is it you've managed to achieve the one thing that people have been trying years to do? And he says, I ran it in my mind before I ran it. I actually ran it. So once he'd put it to rest in his mind, and he's seen it so clear, it happened. And that's what it's all about. You've got to see it up here. If you're not prepared to see it and believe it and embody it, it ain't going to happen.
That's almost like in a way what David Wood mentioned the other night, as far as on the Hangout, as far as speaking something into existence. And I know he wanted everybody to listen to that Inner Circle, and yes, I listened to that as well. But he was just speaking that into existence, Like, for example, when people go and click the button and join now, as far as what we're talking about, you'll see too in one of the products, the Inner Circle audios, that the first few audios too. This is what he said that he and Dave Sharp were doing before Empower really got started. Before everything, the structure was really getting set. I think those first few weeks, they were speaking everything into existence as it was already there. Which is incredible as far as set your mind. Go ahead now.
Sorry, that's the word as well. Just had the thought. What we're saying is, when people are just saying it but not thinking it, if you're just saying it, it's affirmations. But affirmations are no good. They're just you saying what you want. But if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. You need to believe it. That is the key. And same as what we're talking about with Roger Bannister. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you something.
It's like.
Well.
It's like affirmations go. You say affirmations to yourself. They go as deep as your conscious mind. But what you got to do to get the real belief that's going to actually enable you to take the action that you must take to succeed is you need to go as deep as your subconscious mind. And the affirmations don't go necessarily as deep as your subconscious mind. What goes as deep as your subconscious mind is the pictures and the visualization that you can actually see inside with your own eyes. What's going to happen and what you're going to create. And it's like that video in the 15K formula, getting clear on your message and what you want out of life. getting really specifically clear, so you can see every single little detail inside your own mind first. That what you're going to do is going to happen, and it's going to happen for you, and you're going to make it happen because you can see it so clearly with all the detail inside your head through all of your senses, and then it goes as deep as your subconscious mind, and then you really start to, when you keep feeding these thoughts, these pictures inside your deep inside your mind, you really start to believe then that it's already happened, and because it's already happened, you start to take the action that's required to get the results, which then feeds on the belief when you get the results, and it's that's worth success. Like in that video, that Anthony Robbins video, and it's simple when you do it daily.
Now I can't remember the exact phrase that it was said, but someone said to me it was said on a hangout a couple of weeks ago. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what you do want and what you don't want. It only sees what you're telling it. And regardless of what emotion you attach to that, doesn't matter. That is what's going to happen if that's what you keep focusing on. And if you attach an emotion to something, we've all got fears. That's just, it's a part of the human, it's part of who we are. But when something happens, that happening doesn't mean nothing. It means what emotion you attach to it. And if you attach a negative emotion to it, or if you attach an emotion to it and you embody that and focus on it so much, it's going to happen. And same as a metaphor, what David Wood said. You could take a horse to the pond, you could take the horse to go and get some food, but if he wants to go to the pond, that's the problem. So you can try and take it wherever you want, it doesn't matter. But if it wants to go to the pond, it's going to go to the pond, doesn't matter. So you need to have your focus in alignment. And if any part of you doesn't believe what you're doing is right or possible or whatever, it ain't going to happen. Because you will do something to conflict against that and sabotage it.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that's holding people back from going and taking and living the dreams, is that negative connotation around, if I go and do this, it's going to give me this negative emotion, instead of focusing on the positive and saying, if I take this action, it's going to give me this positive emotion, this positive feeling, and it's, you take that step by step, changing that belief where the action you take is going to result in something positive. And it's basically just what you were saying. It's that focusing on the positive and that mindset that you have.
So, do you want to know the easiest way to let go of negativity? Stop, and this is going to sound...
yourself with...
Sorry?
You become the average of the 5 people you surround yourself most. You get around the people who are positive, you become positive.
Yes, but also as well, stop thinking negative thoughts, regardless of what they are. Now, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you see someone in the street and they're looking a bit odd, a bit drunk, or a bit off their head, or whatever. You think... I'm not saying you do, but you think, oh, that person's a bit weird, or whatever. You've got a negative association with that. But because you think that, when you start doing something, you think that that's how people think you are, because you think that yourself. So if you want to start letting go of those emotions, you need to stop thinking them yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you got to be consciously aware. Yeah.
So don't. I'm not saying people do, but don't think any bad. If you see someone who's a little bit different or does something a little bit different, don't think anything different of it. Just think at the end of the day, that's just who they are. We all do things differently. Just because it's not normal for you, it doesn't mean to say it's not normal for them. And the more you can do that, the less negativity you will hold against yourself, because you won't think that's how people perceive you also.
And that's the brilliant about what we've got here. It doesn't matter who you are, and that's the awesome about the people that we have in this community is no one judges people for being better or worse. Like you were saying before, it doesn't matter who you are or what background you come from or what you believe or what daft things you do in your spare time. It really doesn't matter because you're all welcome here with who you are as a human being, and you're not going to get judged for being that person. That's something unique to what we have here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, at the end of the day, David Wood says the one thing that you're missing from your marketing is you. We think that we need to be David Wood or Vic Strizers or David Sharp or somebody who has some kind of authority. We think if we can be them, then we're going to be onto a winner. Well, the thing is with people, they can kind of pick up when you're not being yourself. I don't know what it is, but if you started, this is no disrespect to you, but if you start coming across, like you say, you was quite a reserved person, very kind of person that kept yourself to yourself. So if you came to the event and start becoming loud and very outgoing and this now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that to me would be out of your character. So it's I would notice that because I notice the kind of person you are, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. At the end of the day, I would love it if you did, but if you did start doing something that was not in your nature and in your character, by the way you are, it won't resonate with people. You need to be true to who you are.
That's also I've heard too, as far as that type of energy that as far as like for example, let's say you're we're a group of friends, I don't know, going hanging out, whatever, I don't know, like going to watch a movie or something, and then one guy just all of a sudden, somebody in your group, whatever, you look at this one person, they just look at this person, don't know him from anything. It's like, oh, he looked at me the wrong way. Oh, I like this person. It's like that type of energy too. To say that person's walking away from that, or just walking by, and that person that said that, they can kind of they can sense that type of energy. It's almost the same thing like obviously like we're trying to connect with our audience and something as far as what we're doing as far as our marketing. And we're having a bad day or whatever, or just want to go on a rant or whatever. Trust me, people can kind of sense that energy as far as, okay, this guy's ticked off, or this guy is a bunch of BS or whatever. Yeah, like you said, people can sense that too. I don't know exact word, but they can sense that.
Yes, they can. People know.
It's like Dave Sharp says you can smell
it. You can. And the thing is, right, you can just see it because eventually you can try to be whoever it is you want to be, but eventually you will get back to who you are. And that's the part that people will pick up on. Well, hang on a minute, if you were like this now, why are you not like that now? Kind of thing. And they just...
You'll get back to who you are. It's because who you believe you are. It's your own self-image of yourself, and you act in a way in accordance to who you believe you are. And it's like you were saying about this, if you go and act now as a shy, reserved person, then I see it at the event as like a loud person. That's kind of how I was before. I'd be like a shy reserved person. That's how I was. It doesn't mean to say that's like how I am now. I can change myself. Because if like a year ago, if I'd have said, "Oh, I'm a shy, reserved person. This is who I am," it limits the fact that this is how I am. I can't change this. Where in the fact you can become whoever you want to become. You can change any part of your life whenever you choose to. Simply by it's like that saying, life's not about finding yourself. Life's about creating yourself. That's just something I wanted to add there. But you're right in the fact that saying if you say one thing and then go and do another, it's completely not transparent with who you're speaking to, and there's no point in just going and saying one thing and then going and doing another, because people You know, people like we've been saying, people can smell it. People realize, people can sense it, and it's like one of the products said, it's like 90% of communication is body language.
It is. And I'll tell you what, the best thing you can do, if you want to know the kind of person you are, go out and get drunk. That for me, and people laugh, but that to me is who you are, because you hit a certain point where you're just like, you know what, I don't care. Let's just do it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So if you're the kind of person who's quite reserved, you will still be reserved when you're drunk, because that's just who you are. If you want to go out and do something, but you haven't quite got the confidence when you're sober, eventually you change that when you're drunk, because you just think, you know what, I don't care, I'm doing that. And you are who you are. But people do it when they're drunk because they think that the next day they can hide behind the alcohol, thinking, I was drunk, it don't matter. No, that's who you are. Don't hide away from that. That's great. Just do it. As long as what you're doing is not against the law, having a malicious intent towards it, I don't see what the problem is. Who cares if people get offended? People get offended for all kinds of things. So, you know, if it's going to offend someone, I don't care. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, because I don't go out there maliciously to offend people. I am who I am. And if you're going to get offended because I've got a little bit of banter about me, well, I'm sorry, then me and you just won't get along. That's just the way it is. I won't see you again, so see you later. I've got no malicious intent towards anyone. You know, that's just the way it is. Some people just get offended very, very, very easily.
Well, it's also saying too, though, kind of going back to Dave Sharp. I remember that's the first person I heard say, as far as, you know, like example, like when we try to get out there, you know, to the marketplace, try to give out value. You know, you try to market to everybody. You know, you're marketing to no one. You know, like for example, we're gonna offend some people anyway. Perfect example. When I first started reading, I keep on referring to him because, like I told you guys so many times, I love reading Robert Kiyosaki's books because he's straightforward, he's cut and dry. If you don't like it, and trust me, I used to quote some stuff to on Facebook. If I could go back to, like, I think it's either 2012, mid 2012, maybe when or was it 2013, early 2 years ago, when I started quoting some of his stuff. I had some people that I disagree with that. I'm thinking, hey, that's fine, whatever, but like, hey, he's cutthroat, and he was telling the truth, whether people you like it or not. You know, again, that kind of just goes on to what you just said, Neil. We're not gonna relate to everybody. You know, like I was telling Ian earlier, as far as what I was posting, as far as my own workouts. This is what I love to do, Olympic weightlifting, on top of helping me on the football field or whatever. So, of course, when I posted that first video yesterday, I had some of my teammates that are kind of cutting up a fool in the comments because they never seen that before, you know, or they did, they probably saw it wrong. More than likely they did. That's just what it is. Because I mean, we got big egos here in America. I'm not gonna lie about that too. So I mean, it's as far as like, well, I've never seen that before. Yeah, but I was taught from somebody how to do it correctly. Do the lifts correctly, and that's just how you do it correctly, and they sent me on the football field. So I mean, you want to joke, we can joke around all about it all we want to, but I'm thinking in the back of my mind, but at the same time, this helped win us the championship last year. So okay, you know, so that's just going to happen. And another thing too, what you both were mentioning earlier, as far as who we are. I remember hearing this from a speaker. I'm not going to mention the name since he left the company, but one of the events about probably a year and a half ago, it was in Orlando. It was one of the regional events. He was talking about as far as the home-based business profession in general. And he's like, man, to be honest with you, all it is like network marketing is really all it is. How was the phrase? I almost messed this up. I want to see if I get this correct. But all of this is personal development covered up as an opportunity. That's all it is. And it's like really how you are right now. How he was talking on the stage. He's like, how you feeling right now? To be honest with you, all we're doing is trying to just get off all the other garbage from the outside world. That's really who you are. You know, if you're an introvert, you're introvert, extrovert, whatever I pronounce it, is like, well, or whatever. That's just really who you are when you come to those events. You know, whether you like it or not, that's truly who you are. So I mean, obviously, you hang around the community of what Ian was talking about as far as the community that we're a part of. This is who we love to be. I love joking around too. I love saying hi to other people, hi to a lot of people that I recognize, meeting new people. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? As far as this, so people can relate. Now, obviously, as I mentioned so many times too, as far as the books, reading the quotes, whatever, I love talking about that stuff. It's helped me so many times too. I know it's helped you guys as well too. This is only going to help us get better. As far as building business to it, obviously pushing out value out there to the world. I've seen a couple of your posts as well too, Neil, as far as your blog posts, as far as like still trying to get people out of that mindset as far as like, oh man, it's a scam or whatever. Nah, your thinking is not really right. I see you trying to basically almost like a teacher as far as like teaching them correctly. Now this is the reason why this is not a scam as far as the home-based business profession compared to corporate America, which, oh by the way, you like it or not, it is. Not bashing anybody that's working a job or whatever. Some people love the jobs, that's fine. But at the same time, this is how I see. How is this fair if you're making 40 to 60% of what you were struggling with that was at 100%? I don't understand how that's fair. And then to be honest with you, that's really a scam. To be honest with you.
Definitely. Scam. I was actually, funnily enough, I created a video earlier on, and I was talking about when people try to rank their blog posts, they write a review based on a company, and whether or not that company is a scam, if it's a scam, it needs to be highlighted, fair enough. But don't say it's a scam because you want to rank against it to try and then cross-promote your product. Because there's three reasons why that's not going to work. So firstly, you're trying to promote something by selling it as a scam, and you're getting the wrong kind of people. I'm personally not going to click on something that says this is a scam because that's not the kind of person I am. If you're looking for someone that's trying to reaffirm that something is a scam, they're going to click on that. So how are you expecting to sell to that person when they're already of the mindset that something's a scam? It's not going to work. Can't do it. If you're selling that as a scam, or you're saying it's a scam, you've then got the fact that that person is no doubt trying to slam whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So you've got that thing, same as what David Wood says. It's tit for tat industry kind of thing. If you're gonna slam me, I'm gonna slam you. But then also, if you're gonna build up a reputation of I only slam people, I speak about negative things, and that's the way I get people in my business, it's not gonna work. Because what value is that?
Yeah, it's only really working on the subconscious mind as far as feeding that negativity part. That's really all it is. It's a waste of time, point blank.
I was watching the Internet Traffic Formula, funnily enough, just before I got on this hangout, and Vic Streiser basically says if you give them, I don't know, about three to four videos, just basically focus on a specific strategy. So if you're doing the network marketing industry, what is the three most common problems with network marketing? I know 90 to 95% of the people on the internet have problems with generating leads. So that's certainly one thing you can do. Maybe talk about how to talk to these people, how to build value into their lives, etc. How to inspire them to actually want to buy from you. Another thing you said on it, one of the biggest emotional triggers that you'll find people buy from is, I think he said it was inspiration. Yeah, I could be wrong on that one, but if you're just sitting there basically saying buy this, buy this, buy this, they're not going to buy it at all. You've got to give them the mind shift, make them believe it's possible, give them value, something that they can take away and apply to the business regardless of whether they buy from you or not, and basically give them a way to come back to you if they don't want to buy right now. Because don't forget, sometimes it takes up to seven different ways, seven times for someone to buy from you. And I'll tell you another thing, I was watching the Mike Hobbs event on Wednesday. I don't know if anybody watched that. They were talking about how to generate 3,000 to 4,000 leads in your business on a monthly basis. And Mike Hobbs mentioned on that hangout how someone signed up for him on his squeeze page. So it's been on his newsletter since 2008, I think it was. And they brought a month ago.
Wow.
So the question is, when does a person buy? Well, I think that's your proof there. They could buy at any point. The value never stops. And that was something I was talking to someone, before I caught up with you guys, after the event, I was talking to Daniel, I forget his surname, but I was talking to him and he was telling me about how he wants to generate leads, and I go, okay, that's fine. It's good you're doing that, but what are you doing with them leads? And then he says, oh no, I'm just building my leads. And I was, okay, yeah, but what are you doing with them? There's no point in having leads just for the sake of having leads. What are you doing? Are you talking to them? No, I'm not. Okay, so what are you doing with them? Well, I'm just saving it, and then when the time's right, I'll promote them. I go, yeah, okay, but if I could just say something, when you get someone, I don't know about you guys, but I think I've had about 30 to 40 emails today alone. And I recognise Empower Network, I recognise David Wood, I recognise Paul Gardner, and there are a few others that are on my thing. Those people I look out for, because those to me are the people I want to learn from, because they're making it in their business. Now, you can sit there and say to me, oh, I've got this great webinar that's going to teach you this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, I'm going to join that. But if you don't then follow up with me 2-3 weeks later, my memory is absolutely shocking anyway. But even if I was a normal person that had a relatively good memory, 2 to 3 weeks down the line, with the amount of emails I'm going to have in my normal day-to-day life, I am not going to remember who you are, because you've not made an impact in my life.
Yeah.
So give someone value, get them onto the squeeze page, give them something, same as I say, give them something that you can email to them, a hangout or training or an ebook or something that they have to be emailed rather than directing them to. And then once you've done that, you then follow up with them, say, I hope you found this useful. If you didn't, here it is again. And then maybe from there, you just add further on top of what that training is. And just something, again, not something from a point that, buy this because it's going to do this, and this. Give them something for free and make them impact their life. Give them results. If you're trying to teach them how to do lead generation, maybe you can then teach them about SoloAds. That person that you were telling me about, what results have you had from that? You've got proof that you purchased a certain amount of clicks from that person. You've generated this kind of result. You've got this percentage of people signed up to you. So you've got a positive result. Now, if you've done that on a consistent basis, eventually you will have that much authority because you've done it that many times. People will see you as the go-to guy. Now, you could talk to them about how to construct a good squeeze page, or how to construct a decent follow-up, or how to construct a decent sales page to send off to the SoloAd. There's so many different things you can do to it. You don't need to give them who to buy SoloAds from and the #1 buying emotion or anything like that. That can be added bonus. So that when somebody buys into it, say, look, if you buy into this, I will give you this, and this will go on top of that particular training that I've been giving you.
Yeah, and that kind of goes more to the value side when you're talking about giving your list or your audience or whoever it might be. That's a cool thing too for us as far as using our blogs, because we just do what we love to post, whatever it is, to whatever niche, and it's. I love to. It's almost like how people are kind of slamming them as far as what when people talk about slamming, trying to get them in. Sure, I look to slam them with value. This is something I learned from Mike Hobbs and Paul Hutchins probably about a year ago. As far as almost being indirect, I love doing that. As far as just like giving them value, as far as like seeing something on YouTube or whatever with different speakers, I'm like, well, I love this. I'll say something real quick about it. Post the video itself too, and I'll put it on my blog too, and then I'll go send it to my list. All I'm doing is giving that value. I know David Wood said before he started Empower, he said the same thing as far as there are people on my list for years, or whatever, several years, and now they're like just recently now they're starting to join. Because what does he do? He was giving out value, so much value. And another person's list I'm on as well, who does the same thing. And now because of his I think his podcast, whatever, Justin Moringia. You talking about a big time value right there. I've listened to some of them as well. He has some heavy hitters on there, on the online marketing world or some entrepreneurs. He has some heavy hitters. I'm like, whoa! And the value he's carved up in that, whew.
Yeah,
it's like a bonus inner circle, In a sense.
People will naturally want to buy from you if you're providing that much value, because I didn't quite grasp this at first. When I first come across the concept, I was sitting there thinking, right, so you're giving away all this free stuff. Why would they buy from you? Because you're giving them pretty much everything that they need anyway. And I thought, well, now it's from a perspective you just think, well, actually, the reason why they buy from you is because you have that much authority over them. They think that if they get involved with you, well, they will. If they get involved with you, then they're going to learn that much more, because there's so much more that you're going to give them, because they're now serious about their business and obviously now prepared to put their money where their mouth is. And there's a lot of freebie seekers out there who just think, and I used to be one myself, because I came so skeptical of the market, thinking that people were only interested in giving me the answers to my question if I bought something. So I got so skeptical about it, and it's just like, I'm only after free information. And I came across Empower Network by chance, just because I thought, I'm going to give this a try. I'm not that. I got sold it. I didn't see the sales page from Empower Network. I had someone else's bridge page when I signed up to something. They said, I can teach you how to do this. And I was like, you're a big time marketer and I think you can do it. I'll give it a try. Otherwise, I'd have never come across Empower Network. But, I got so skeptical of internet marketing as a whole, because I just thought everyone's interested in just getting your money and then they'll provide the value. And I just think that at that very point, it's just the wrong way around. You shouldn't be saying, give me the money, I'll give you the value. It's the way around. I'll give you the value to the point where you want to give me your money.
That's kind of, in a sense, too, your audience that you have to attract. Because I know we were talking about different audiences a couple of weeks ago, too. That's kind of like, right there, you just said it, as far as like, okay, I was a skeptical person, but now, okay, I can relate to somebody who might be saying, oh, this doesn't work, it might be one of those things, it's a scam, or, all that. Oh, okay, I can understand now, too, as far as, okay, where your side is coming from now. As far as, okay, that's kind of like your niche. Like for me, like you saw with me, say, hey, I like the straightforward information, but it might hit me in the gut, but you know what, it's the truth. That's just why I was talking about like for example, the Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki books. In a sense too, not really, even though he loves telling stories. David Wood is in that sense too. He's kind of cutthroat at times too. Another person too we don't really talk about as well is the diva herself, Tracy Walker. Listen to her events. She was straightforward too. But she's a sweetheart. Don't get me wrong, but she's straightforward too. But I can accept that. I used to, when I first went to events, I was like, man, this woman coming hard on us right now. But I can understand that. She was like, hey, make a decision or get going. Napoleon Hill had a whole chapter talking about decision.
They've got a lot more experience and have spoken to a lot more people than we have. And I think you just eventually get to the point. The thing is, I don't want to say this is in a bad way, I feel for the guy, but at the same time, I also understand where David Wood is coming from. And a couple of months ago, I was in the Prosperity Hangout, the Prosperity Facebook page, and I just came across this particular post where this guy just says that, I'm struggling, I just need someone to speak to, and basically I'll be on my way kind of thing. And I just thought, what, this guy's struggling. I don't mind helping out because we've all been there. We all need a little bit of a push. And I reached out to him, and we was on the phone for about, 45, 50 minutes, maybe even beyond that, to be honest. But all he kept saying to me was, I just need to know how to set this blog up and this and that. And he's rang me multiple times. In fact, I've still got 2 voicemails on my phone because he's rang me a couple more times. But all he keeps saying to me is, I've not done anything you've told me to do because I'm still stuck trying to set up my blog. And, back to the same concept what David Wood says, at the end of the day, setting up your blog, as long as you can blog, what's the problem? Which you can do straight from the off anyway. Whatever it is he's trying to do, I don't know. I can't make head or tails out of it because he's not making no sense to me. But I want to try and help the guy, I really do. But I'm not going to spend an hour on the phone once a week because he's struggling to grasp whatever it is I'm trying to tell him, and then he's going to ignore everything that I'm telling him. Because he lives in London, which is 200-300 miles south of me. So, he said he didn't mind coming up to me, and that's fine. But I don't want you to be coming up here because I've no doubt we're going to spend an entire day, and it's going to be wasted because you're not going to grasp what I'm trying to tell you. And you're an old-style marketer. He told me that he used to buy leads from someone, so he's got the physical copy of their address, and then he will get on the phone with them. And I'm like, yeah, but you've got no relationship with this person at all. I could give you a piece of paper with 15 different names and email addresses. That doesn't mean to say that they're interested. I've told you they're interested. That doesn't mean to say that they are. So you're coming at it from an old-style mindset of thinking that's how you need to recruit. But at the very same time, you're trying to tell me that you want to live the life of freedom by recruiting people on the internet. That's not going to work.
That's the old school way, which, hey, it doesn't, that's fine too, hey, because I'm not going to lie, the person that got me in Empower, with our previous company I shut down too. The funny thing too, this is before the DVDs or whatever. Before David Wood was trying to get everybody to go face to face with DVDs, and everybody was like, "No, that's all right." But he was doing that. He used a YouTube video. I think it was the one with Dave Wood. It was like 5 minutes long. So it was like when he said right at the gate, Dave Wood was talking about, "Man, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it." And it was that, and then it was like, I guess it was like a scroll real fast, I guess, of the the pay plan or whatever. But the funny thing is, and obviously again, results not typical. The guy that I was under, that when he was doing that, he had made $20,000 like within a few months doing one-on-ones. I'm talking about how to laptop care to people. Some people, hey man, look at this. This is $25. It worked because it was funny because Nick, not Nick, Ian, you have to ask offline too. She'll laugh. She knows exactly what I'm talking about because she was like, "Oh my goodness, what in the world is Phil doing? He's going one-on-one, but it was working. He didn't have any lists or whatever. We didn't know anything about lists till like late 2013. Here it is, he already made over $20,000 back within it had to be like within a 6-month span or whatever. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. It was hilarious because he was going the old school way, but it worked. So, I mean, you got to know what you're doing because he came from other companies. Besides the company that we were in, he was in another company too that was, offline or whatever. But whatever the strategy, because that's what he told me. That's why, I can't use him as an excuse because, I was kind of like, do I do this offline? Do I call people? Which I was doing. I'm not going to lie because I came from that. That's where I came from too. Doing the calls. Hey, man, look at this. But it was like, how do you close somebody? That's the word I came from. And then obviously learning this stuff online until I actually went through the products, it was like, oh, okay, I can make this a whole lot easier on myself. That's like, well, again, that David Wood mentioned the other night too, as far as what we do. All we do is through three things. When I heard that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because just get people in, plug them into the systems, plug them into the culture. I was like, if I had heard that from day one, oh my goodness, I know I'd have made a whole lot more money than what I have. But had to fail forward. As Dave Sharp said, he's like, man, if you're gonna mess up, just go mess up straightforward.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm so glad I persisted with it because again, the person that got me in, they used to do their own conference calls. They never told me when I first got involved with Empower Network. All right, I should have gone through the entire thing. But I was coming at it from the mindset of this is just another clickbait product. It was not going to give me any true value unless I bought into it or whatever else. But whatever he done in his Hangouts, all they was basically telling me was that in order for me to get to them, I needed to get all in. They didn't tell me nothing about Empower Network. They didn't tell me what it stood for, getting on the Monday night calls, none of that.
Wow.
And
it obviously worked because you got all in.
Hey?
It obviously worked.
Yes,
You got all in.
he went, I came so close, I came that close to quitting Empower Network because no matter what I tried, I emailed him, I'd done absolutely everything I could to contact him, and for three weeks he did not get back to me, and he still hasn't now. But eventually, I managed to find something where it recruited us into Prosperity, and it was only when I got in the Prosperity team that I started learning. And in 2000, I think it was November 2013, that was 5 months after I got into Empower Network. That's when I started learning because I got plugged into the system. I had the trainings that they were doing on a weekly basis. And I just started, that's where my development started it. But that's when they started telling me, get on the Monday night hangouts, start listening to the trainings and accept, you know what I mean? They started pointing me to where I needed to go and what I needed to do. And it's just a prime example that people are not going to take action unless you tell them what to do because they're looking at you. So if you're trying to become, if you're trying to become a leader, you need to follow through with that. You need to be the change you want to be in the world. You want to see in the world. So if you want to see someone who's going to teach people how to do this and tell them exactly what they need to do, etc., just do it. You know, so many people need that kind of direction, and it sounds so obvious when you buy into it. Just go onto the website and check it out. But I'll be the first person to tell you I didn't do that because I had this mindset of I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. Again, shiny ball syndrome. Just seeing something, got told it was going to do this for me, I bought into it, and after about 2 days, the novelty had wore off.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie too. If it wasn't for the Prosperity, that made it simpler for me as well. Too, even though I was listening to the Empower Hour calls or whatever, but I remember looking at my past blog posts. I had to go back to like almost a blog beast too. When that was out, my blogging was like it wasn't even every other day. To really be honest with you too, probably a couple months leading up to the Block B. So you're talking like maybe that June or July of a couple years ago. That's when I started being consistent. But at the time, I was blogging every day, but this is the only thing though. I was everywhere. My marketing was everywhere, so I wasn't getting anybody until listening to again hooking up with the Prosperity team, and then listen to the Morning Mindset with Paul Hutchins. That's when I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do personal development. I'm sticking with it because I got hooked in that call. I was thinking, I'll listen to it. I'm only going to work. Fridays I'm off, and forget it. No, this is what happened. I was just getting up anyway. I made it a habit. You know, it's like a ritual. Again, something else that Napoleon Hill talked about as far as habits. And I was just like, man, I'm hooked. You know, I was just listening to it. I'm like, boy, this is some good stuff. And I was listening to the books that we go through. We cover books like Think and Grow Rich, Law of Success, Wallace Wattles, Science of Getting Rich, How to Promote Yourself, another book by Wallace Wattles. I was like, man, we got some other books too within one of the websites that Paul Hutchins has. But I was just like, listen to that. It'll be the 30 minutes of the reading, and then the next half an hour will be the mastermind call. And this is when he had people from different companies too, just to give them their perspective just about what we read. Not talking about not trying to do no sales pitches, whatever, but again, giving that value. And what is that for him as well? That was an example of having an event, 5 days a week. That's not counting his own team events that he does. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he does those on Saturdays. People do them different days throughout the week. He obviously has his with Mike Hobbs on Wednesdays as well, his hangouts. That's something I love to go and share as well. I love to go share that hangout with my list as well as on top of what we have here as well, because it's another event. The Empower Cal is another event too. Obviously, the big one too, where we meet up to, that's another event. So we love to promote that as well too. But I can relate to that. It made it simple. And then listen to what my colleagues had as far as daily action steps. Then I was like, okay, let me do these. I listened to like all of it, but I was able to implement some stuff to make it simpler for me. Because that's what we have to do. You got to make it simple for us. So it can't be like, oh, either you have to do this or no, you have to do this. Now you got to do something that's kind of pertains to you. And that's the cool thing about this company. I know Lawrence Tam said this as well. He's like, I don't really tell people what to do. It's almost like I suggest this too, but it can help you out. That's simple.
That's the thing I wanted to say before. It's like you get people to make the decision for themselves that they want to be a part of it. Then not only are they going to stick in, and the retention's going to be a lot higher. People are going to take the action because they made that decision for themselves, and that's all we're doing. We're creating that value. So it's up to you to decide if you want to be a part of this or not. And we've been going for an hour and a half now. You still want to keep going?
Yeah. At the end of the day, what you have to have in mind, like I say, as I've said to you, Andre, you've got this kind of Robert Kiyosaki kind of mentality. So basically, this is the way it is, and if you're not interested, that's fine, but you don't beat around the bush kind of thing. And that, to me, that is your marketing angle. So that you resonate with that kind of marketing perspective, and that's the kind of person you are. So that's the kind of people you want to be. Like I say, that's the kind of people you want to be targeted. And actually, I meant to ask you, how did you get on with your solo ads?
How to go? You saying, or how did I get them?
Yeah, no. How did you get on with them?
Oh, how to go? Well, I already gotten. Let's see, I got the leads. I got the 22 leads out of it too. That was a cool thing. And I had 2 people right off the bat that had emailed me right off the bat as far as they're interested or whatever. Now when I emailed them back, I didn't get a response back. So that was fine. But that was just obviously more people for me to just continue to give out more value to, and then obviously add it into my list, because that was kind of interesting as far as using just 50 clicks. I wasn't expecting to get that many leads out of it. That's almost 50%. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Now, obviously, too, for people that are watching, I'm not talking about as far as like newbie going spending money on to go and buy clicks stuff. But that's, some people like to do paid advertising, and then some people like to do it free too. But I mean, either or, that's fine too. But I was just kind of shocked as far as that type of percentage or whatever. And then I had, like I said, the responses were kind of quick as well. So again, one of those people kind of wanted to make a decision or whatever, or trying to really get in contact with me. They got my information. Either be my number, my Skype. They have my email. That's cool. So and then I remember I had told you guys earlier too. I thought iPass didn't have the traffic owned brokers, but they do have that back there. It's under the gold category or whatever. So I was like, okay. Now whether or not those people, select companies, that's exactly where they helped as well as with that, I'm not too sure. But I just thought it was pretty cool having something that low as far as purchasing clicks, able to get that many leads. I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that's true. But something that David Wood did actually mention on the Hangout yesterday, or should I say this morning in my case, he did actually say that you don't need to be buying traffic until you can figure out how to make that traffic convert. And obviously I'm not saying that to anybody in particular, I'm just saying that, I for me personally, I'm not focusing on not buying traffic, because I think I want to buy traffic as well, but I'm going to test small, and I'm going to test a few different things. So my next thing that I'm going to buy, I'm going to try a particular strategy. So I'm going to buy clicks. When they buy clicks, they come into my funnel, and then from there I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try a few different things because I'm going to try and find what works. So I'm going to come at it from the Vic Tries one, where you give them a few different videos and then you try to get them to sell, or maybe I'm going to try and do it where I just give them a pre-sell, or I'm going to do a bridge video. There's a few different ones I'm going to try. I'm going to try each one and then test my results.
You try, you don't try, you do. You either do this or you do that, but you do have to test though. I just wanted to point that out. You're saying try a lot.
Yeah, I meant test.
But yeah, that's how we do it. You got to test different things and see what's working best and scale up what's working best. That's you learn as you take the action. Until you take that action in the beginning, how can you learn from what's going better or what's going worse than from particular things? Yeah. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying though as well.
Well, I mean, there was another video I actually shot this morning. Actually, is that so many people, and I was exactly the same. When I first got started, I thought I wanted to hit the ground running, and everybody does. Everybody wants the perfect start, where it's like everything I try works like a charm, and it's like, okay, I do like that concept, but then I also don't like that concept, because how are you going to know to fix it when it does go wrong? So if you're trying to come at it from a perspective of influence, you are going to eventually get someone to come to you and say, this isn't working, what do I do? And if you've got every single campaign you ever set go perfect, and you come across that problem, you're going to come unstuck, because if you can't offer them answers, they're going to go somewhere else, because you're not going to be able to, you're not going to have that authority anymore, because it's like, well, you don't really know what you're doing, do you? So you need to fail going forward. You have only failed if you give up completely. Otherwise, it's just a test.
Yeah, I know when I had growing up as well, my mentality was thinking, well, I know this is probably gonna be a little bit slow for me, because it's gonna be for me to figure it out. But it's like I'm gonna do this, so it's like I was doing stuff, but it was just the wrong activity, something like that too. Or it's like it'd be one of those things like, oh yeah, I'm working, but I really wasn't working. I was wasting my time on other stuff. So that's kind of a lot of stuff that I was doing as well, as far as the people that, oh yeah, listen to the Inner Circle artists. Yeah, I went on YouTube and I was listening to other speakers, your Brian Tracy's, Les Brown's, Jim Rohn's, all that. Nothing wrong with those guys too, but it never hurts too to listen to within the company too. There's the people making it happen within the company too, because what are they doing? I think who is that? They would say that. So you listen to what they're doing because they're telling not only their story but how to connect with people like them, which also gives you a little bit more of a wider audience too. I remember somebody mentioned talking about the book of your first, I think, 90 days in network marketing too. And I remember this is heard from one of the leaders in my previous company that I was with. But he said he asked somebody too. We were in a training one Saturday morning. He asked somebody, the doctor. He's like, yeah. So who are the people that you pretty much I think your sphere of influence, I think, or something like that, or sphere of influence in your audience? And the doctor had said, oh yeah, okay, your nurses, patients. He's like, it'd be like something wider, broad as far as like who they help, like who the athletes they help, the sports they help. So that would be a lot bigger too. So I guess kind of that sense too. That's what I'm saying as far as like when we hear other people on our speakers too in our community too, whether it be Inner Circle calls, their hangouts, or on stage, they're telling their story too. So it gives you a little bit wider of a niche that you might be able to want to go and attack if you prefer to. That's an option, obviously. So that's something just to kind of throw it out there as well.
No, that's cool. I mean, thing is with go on, Ian.
Did you say blog Ian or did you say blogging?
No,
I thought you said blogging. No,
I
didn't have anything to say, actually.
You know, I've completely lost my train of thought. Now I think, yeah, when you was mentioning about, oh, I thought I was working, but I really wasn't. You know, I think we all go through that where we think that, you're telling me to go onto Facebook and you're telling me to listen to audios and whatever else, and you're just like, well, I'm doing that. It's like, yes, but that's not going to help you anymore. It's not going to take your business forward. It's going to help you as a person because listening to the mindset called, it helps you. But until you start sharing that, you're not going to have you're not going to generate the leads, you're not going to generate the sales. So if you've only got an hour a day, which I hope you haven't, I hope you've got more than that. If you've got an hour a day, then you need to focus on writing a blog, syndicating that blog, recording a video, and getting it out there to the people. Because that is only what's going to help you generate the leads that you need to get free up your time.
Call you some systems too. So hey, it's true. Yeah. That's true. Using the system to free you up. Go ahead. Were you about to say something there?
Wow, everyone's gone quiet.
No, I thought you was about to say something.
I was going to say something, but again, I was trying to momentary lapse. My memory's gone again. Yeah, well, I mean, that to me is another point. So many people out there think, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And, here's me. I'm struggling to focus and even get my point across because I can talk to you for 5 minutes and then 1 minute my memory's just completely gone again. I lose track completely. So, if I can persist in this business and start generating leads and start building a business, I don't see the reason why anybody else can't, because my memory, I cannot understate this so much. I'll give you an example. I went out with a couple of friends, I think it was Tuesday after work, and we went to the bar, and obviously as you do, you have a few drinks, then you need to go to the toilet. Well, I went to the toilet, and just after I'd finished going to the toilet, cleaned myself, obviously washed my hands, as I was leaving, there was 3 different doors, and I had no recollection as to what door I'd actually come through, and that was only 2 minutes prior. And I ended up trying to walk into a cubicle because I thought that was the door I was supposed to go through, and it wasn't. 2 minutes earlier, I'd come into the toilet through one door, and when I came back out, I had no recollection of which door it was. That's how bad my memory can be at times. Now, if I can persist in this business and I can start generating results, even by generating leads, I don't see any reason. You have got no excuse as to why you can't.
There you have it right there.
Yeah.
This is why I need organisation. I need structure, because I can't think so many different things at times. I have such a small attention span. I get easily distracted. My memory, I won't remember a great deal. Basically, I need everything written down. I need a structure. That's the only way I want to work with things. But if I can make it work for me, then nobody can tell me that they can't do this.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I understand too, but shoot, Ian, I know you as well too. Like as far as our schedules too, really all of us too, as far as our own work schedules as well too. Some people will think too, it's coming like, let's say they're in a sport or whatever. They're like, oh man, like you just said, they're like, oh man, how can I make time for this? Well, I mean, I kind of like giving it out there too, as I mentioned earlier. As far as what I'm posting either on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, I'm kind of showing you what I am doing too. Like if you were to see my fan page, my business page, I'm being consistent as far as posting value every single day. Because that niche right there is kind of like, okay, these are people I know that want to be serious. That's cool, whatever. But I'm still posting something every single day, still being consistent, still giving that value every single day. I noticed that too with another person. You mentioned earlier too, Neil, was Ray Higgins. Does the same thing. Gives that value as well. He was talking about, I remember read, I think something either early this morning or last night, as far as when he first started blogging, man, my blog platform wasn't all that good or whatever. But he said, I'm paraphrasing now. He said, I just did it. I just went on, just started blogging and started giving that value. And I just started doing it. I said, forget this. I'm just going to make this happen. This is after already failing his previous companies too. Before that, he became a big-time success in the home-based business profession.
Yeah, exactly. When he first got started, he failed at everything. And I think I did hear him say, when I failed, he means he failed miserably. He was absolutely flat broke, working countless hours, not getting any results at all. And, you know, he could have quite easily turned around and go, you know what, this just doesn't work. Or, you know, I can't do this, or whatever else people say. Fact of the matter is, you can do it, and he's a perfect example of that. It just means that he had the desire to make it happen. It's what he wanted to do. He would not settle for anything less, and that is the key principle. I am not prepared to do anything else other than this, and this is what I want to do. And regardless of what happens, what results I get, if I try something and it doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. And that's the mindset you need to have. You don't sit there and think, I can't do this, or this didn't work, so what do I need to try next? It's this didn't work, so I need to try something else. I need to find something that works for me.
Yeah, and then one other thing too, I'll add, and we'll go and we'll end this as well too. This is something too that kind of mentored David Wood as well, Eric Worre, before he joined the home-based business profession. He was in a sense the same way as far as I think before early 20s. I know that as far as, you know, different jobs too, because I have this book too, Network Marketing Pro book. I read that about a few months ago too, but he had failed. I think it had to be like over 20 different companies that he had worked for, 20 different jobs before he hit like 22, 23, before he finally joined a home-based business profession. And he just fired, laid off, whatever, he had failed all those jobs too. And then it took him time just to obviously get just work on. He loves the big thing as far as working on the skills too, and obviously he worked on his mindset too to obviously make and become a big success. And now what does he do for people in the home-based business profession like Ray Haken? Gives that value every day. He does a video 5 times in the week too, and he posts it on his company Network Marketing Pro. Gives that value for people either offline or online as far as helping out building your business. So this comes to show us too. It's like it doesn't matter what type of background that you have. You can make this happen. Period. Whatever. And I know for you, like I know, shoot, here you are working on a farm. I remember I first asked you. I know you work long dog hours because I know I had a teammate when I was in college that worked on the farm as well. So I know your hours are like ridiculous. You know, but what do? You still make time to make it happen.
For me now, not so much because I can work around the farm. But I mean, last year, especially because I was keeping everything a secret from my family and whatnot. So then at that time, I was still having to work full time on the farm, doing what needed to be done, as well as trying to make this work and whatnot. And you know, I'd be spending time, you know, listening to like training videos, hiding up a flipping tree and whatnot, just to be able to, you know, get the information that I needed, that I knew was what was gonna that I knew needed to be fed into my mind. You know, just doing whatever it takes. You know, it doesn't matter how much time you have, even if you have, you know, an hour a day, you can still make it work. It's just take these small steps each and every day, and just be consistent, taking the daily steps each and every day. And it doesn't matter how much other stuff you've got to go and do. You can work around it. It's just prioritize what's most important to you, and that's really all it is. There's no excuses. If you want it bad enough, you do it and prioritize it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm going fairly tired tonight.
That's a good point. With all that being said, if you guys love to connect with us, you click on the link in the below so you can hear a lot more value that we have to it, that we have to offer as well. So with that being said, same time, same place next week here, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I know for my guys, across the seas too. I know you guys have a time change coming up this weekend too, so that's all good because I mean, still be the same. It's just being Eastern time as well for our next event. So be on the lookout too for the link. With that being said, we will talk to you guys next Friday.